Chair will call special meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Lake Barrington to order. It is Tuesday, September 12th, 2017. The clerk will please call the roll.
President Richardson?
Here.
Trustee Burke?
Here.
Trustee Mitchell?
Here.
Trustee Rigby? Trustee Schaller?
Here.
Trustee Thompson?
Here.
Okay, would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chris. Okay, tonight we are here for perhaps the most joyful task of my years of being mayor. I'm going to ask Mr. Balling to set up the conversation for the board, and Mr. Bateman to jump in as he deems appropriate, and then I'll recognize the board for comment, and then we will invite our guest to the podium. So Mr. Balling.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you know, I am ending my stay here as the interim village administrator, and part of my duties contractually with the village was to run an executive recruitment for the permanent administrator. That process yielded some outstanding candidates. We had a total of 31 that responded. Actually, because of the quality of the candidate pool, the first administrative cut was interviewing 15 candidates, which was a higher number than we normally do, but that reflects the quality of the candidates we received. Narrowed that down about in half and identified with the assistance of the board and following your interviews semifinalists that went through an interview process and narrowed that down to, I guess, final semifinalists that were candidates. And we're here today to present an employment agreement which was negotiated by myself and Mr. Bateman with Karen Dalton-Lang, who we're recommending her as the next village administrator in Lake Barrington. The terms and conditions of the agreement have been vetted to the board and provided input and support for the agreement. And Jim and I would be pleased to answer any questions associated with that. Karen, of course, is in the audience this evening. We're happy to see her in that seat. Soon to be in another seat at the DS.
Cheryl, we get to council.
We did, Ms. Dalton-Lang did have the draft agreement reviewed by her attorney, and we got comments back from her, and those were reflected in the draft that was distributed to the board. We've had a few other good suggestions from Ms. Dalton-Lang as well, relative to some further tweaks in the language, so I think it's ready to go.
Okay. Chair would like to recognize trustees for the purposes of comment. I'll start with Trustee Schaller, please.
Well, the trustee Dalton-Lang has sat to the right of me the last couple of years, and I will be happy to have her sit to the left of me in the coming years. Highly qualified, I think probably knows this village better than any of us, serving many years on the plan commission, heading up that plan commission, and then being a trustee. Excellent candidate. We look forward to moving ahead positively, good leadership, and welcome you to moving from one side to the other side.
Trustee Burke.
First, I would like to take a minute to recognize Mr. Balling in the process. I think it was a fantastic process, and I think you deserve to be recognized. Not only for the process, I actually think you deserve to be recognized for the work that you've done for the village over the past months under difficult, challenging circumstances. And you've paved the way very nicely for someone to come in behind you, where a lot of work has been done already, but the person can pick up where you left off. So the combination of the work that you've done for us and then this process, I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that. Thank you. And I got comments from both the candidates that I interviewed, how impressed they were also with the thoroughness of the process. And I'm certain that the process yielded the very best candidate, there's no doubt in my mind. So the only sad thing, as Trustee Schaller alluded to, is that we lose Karen as a valued trustee who has served very, very well in our planning commission and as a trustee over the years, but that's the very same skills that qualifies her so well to do this job. And she knows this village. Lastly, what I would say is, in my conversations with Karen, the thing that ultimately really impressed me and separated her from every other candidate is the fact that she lives right here in our village. And she has lived here for a very long time. She's very passionate about things that take place here. And I think that we can all rest very assured that we're in good hands with her because of her passion for and her desire to make this village the very best place it can be. And so I think we're very fortunate to have her, and would want to congratulate her and wish her well going forward.
Thank you. Trustee Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I also would like to thank Interim Village Administrator Bill Balling for all the work he's done for us, his leadership, and also for his recruitment firm and his partner Adrian. They did a magnificent job of bringing us some excellent finalists, actually all of the prospects, and having known ex-trustee Dalton Lang for a little while, I'm very happy to see that she won out. And I'm looking forward to working with her and to assisting her in making this village all we want it to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair would like to recognize Mr. Balling and Mr. Bateman for any personal comments they'd like to make. Oh, excuse me. Well, you weren't sitting here, so I... There's the problem. Chris, I'm going to put the microphone near the speaker. So, Chair is happy to recognize Trustee Mitchell.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to be able to phone in and find the cell signal for this very important meeting. I am reminded of, in the search for wisdom and for answers, we sometimes travel very far through unknown terrain, and we look for a guru or a swami or some wise person. And I think Bill Balling and Adrian had filled that role. And we said, give us the answer. Where is the person that can do this the best? And Bill and Adrian conducted an incredible search, an incredibly rigorous process, and said the answer lies within. In this case, within the Board of Trustees, within the village. And I am honored and delighted to, hopefully approve this resolution and welcome Karen aboard. But I think we will also find the answer to filling the void, the huge void that she will leave on the Board of Trustees, just 2 chairs down. I think we can find that within as well. So I'm very confident that this is going to be a fabulous, fabulous turn for us. And I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, and forgive my oversight a moment ago. Thank you for dialing in. I know you're in a remote part of New England, so thanks for making the effort, Chris.
Thank you, and I 15 minutes driving around to get 3 bars. And I will look for only 1 bar when I'm done.
After this meeting, Trustee Burke and I are looking for 1 bar.
And it's not named Verizon.
That's right. I'd like to add, thank all the trustees. I see if Mr. Bateman or Mr. Braun have any personal observations they'd like to make. Mr. Bateman?
I would love to. I think I've known Karen for a long time as the chair of the Planning Commission and a member before that, as I remember. And I've known, kind of tracked her professional life as well in terms of professional engineering and other municipal roles, and I am so excited to have someone with her, not just her deep background on drainage and stormwater, but the attention to detail that she gives to matters is really going to benefit the village in a great way. And I'm looking forward to working with her, and I think the village is going to be a huge beneficiary from that background she has in working for, I think I count them as at least 4 municipalities over her career, sometimes as an engineer, sometimes in the stormwater public works director. But it's very exciting. I think that one other thing that I just wanted to say is, you know, from the beginning, Karen has been very transparent and very candid about her interest in the position, and followed scrupulously my advice in terms of, you know, not being present at any meeting when this was discussed, and disclosing why she was leading the meeting when we were gathered to discuss something related to the search. And so but that's just part of her attention to detail. I'm excited.
Mr. Ball.
Well, Karen, you've earned the right to win this promotion, and I congratulate you for that. As you know, when we got into the semifinalist round, I said this is really tough competition, and this is competition that is going to be difficult for the village board to determine the top candidates because of the quality of the candidate pool, and that's a compliment to this village too. One of the things that several of the candidates recognize is that this village has a larger footprint than its size would suggest, and that's a function of the decorum on this board, the level of cooperation that is extended to your neighbors, and the consistency of policy over time. And that's recognized in the professional management community. I know that Karen recognized it as a practitioner on this board, but also recognized it from her observations, as did the other candidates. So compliments to the village board for maintaining a very high level of decorum and energy that has really allowed us to bring and present outstanding candidates to you, but none more so than Karen. She really earned the right to be here. I think she fulfilled every expectation that Adrian and I identified, and as we reported to the board that our goal was to present the 4 highest qualified candidates, that all of which could undertake the assignment, and it gets down to fit and perspective and judgment, and obviously one out, Karen. So congratulations to you. It was a great achievement for you.
Yeah. Thank you both. In the fall of 1998, I was considering running for trustee.
So you are going to make this a long
Absolutely. How long have you known me? How long have you known me? In 1998, I was unhappy about a zoning matter, and coincidentally received a call from Karen, who was then on the Plan Commission. And the complaint was basically the one I had been harboring about process and so forth. And that began a partnership, a friendship that lasts until today. If you're lucky in life, the people that you work with and that you become friends with are those who not only complement your skills and your abilities, but also have the courage and the guts to take you on when you need to be corrected. Over many years, Karen has always given me her truthful opinion, even when I've actively tried to avoid it. She's done a phenomenal job. It is a great partnership because I am absolutely all right brain and she is all left brain, much like our treasurer sitting back there, and much like Lake Barrington's first lady down the street in Kelsey Farms. I really respect discipline and attention to detail and commitment, and over the many years we've been friends and tackled many issues together during her time on the Plan Commission as well as on this board. I've always known Karen to have the highest integrity, a rigorous intellect. During the difficult community discussion and debate over Speedway, I remember her sitting in that chair that evening after a long and rather aggressive meeting, and she made a point about Route 14. I remember almost verbatim. Unlike our county roads, Miller and River and Kelsey and Old Barrington, a municipal road, she observed that US Route 14 is a federal highway, and it has not been nor will ever be a bucolic countryside road. And she didn't say it with attitude, she didn't say it with acidic temperament. She just made a factual, truthful observation in a way that allowed people to hear it. When this process started, I was delighted when she was interested in becoming a candidate. I also want to thank Art, and because much like my spouse, these are demanding jobs. Chris Burke was observing earlier to Andy that my ability to run a brief meeting is non-existent. And so the spouses pay their share of this experience too, with patience and understanding. Karen and I over the years have had a lot of Sunday night conference calls on matters. And so Art, I want to thank you for making this possible too, because you're a team, the way all of us are up here with our spouses, and it's greatly benefited our community. I had to call my dear friend, Hanover Park Mayor Rod Craig, and say, I'm stealing your rock star. And he and I have been great friends for several years. We traveled many times together, and he had a good nature. In fact, he enjoyed the Burke hospitality at a Notre Dame tailgater. See how I worked that in? And Rod Craig went on and on about what a magnificent contribution Karen has made to Hanover Park, how much they will miss her, but how much he understood the logic and the sensibility of this move for her. And he told me I owed him one. So I am thrilled to have this question here before us this evening. Karen, before I call the question, I would welcome you to come up and make any comments that you would like.
You don't want to call the question first? Yeah, I just want to thank you for your trust and support, and I hope to earn that going forward as your next village administrator. I think I will have an easier time with that transition because of all the hard work that Mr. Balling has done, and I look forward to working with you all in this new role. I love Lake Barrington. A couple of you have noticed that, having lived here for so long, and I really take to heart our motto, an oasis of gracious countryside living, and that's who we are. And I hope to keep it that way and to move forward with a lot of things that'll make this town even better. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, then, is there anybody else seeking recognition? Chair seeing none. Chair would like a motion to approve resolution number 2017-R-9, a resolution approving and ratifying execution of an employment agreement with Karen Dalton Lang for the position of village administrator. May I have that?
So moved.
By acclamation, moved by the board. Second?
Second.
By acclamation.
Second.
Clerk will please call the roll.
I've never done that before.
Start with me. Start with me.
President Richardson,
Here, yes.
Trustee Burke,
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
Trustee Schaller,
Yes.
Trustee Thompson.
Absolutely, yes.
Great. Karen, we will have a reception for you on the October 10th meeting date in the community room, right after the meeting gets started. So please invite your husband and your mother-in-law to join us. Art, it looked like you were here with two of your nieces here today. So invite them back. Invite them back. They class up the joint. We do have, unfortunately, I will say, I also have two of the three candidates interviewed. The third I've done a telephone interview with. One is in LBS, two are in other parts of the community. So I hope to have all of that nailed down and present to all of you soon. I also went through with my trusty red pen. Lisa, God bless you, you did a hard copy of the comprehensive plan draft, and I wrote all over it in Reading down at the beach week before last, and I'm starting to type into my track changes in Microsoft Word. I'll get that to everybody in advance so that they can look at it and offer any final additional comments on that. Mr. Bateman, do we need to have a closed session for this litigation thing or not?
I don't think probably.
Great, great. Then my favorite question to call in every meeting, other than tonight where the resolution just passed, is probably the nicest thing I've ever called the question on. Chair would like a motion to adjourn. Sent by trustee Burke, enthusiastically seconded by trustee Mitchell, who's on 3 bars. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks,